So let's start our class. Can we continue the doubts? Anyone have doubts? Please ask on the. We'll clarify.
Hari, like if you have any iFlow which uses the value mapping, can you show once? Because like how to get the XSD file and all, I like. Uh,
For value mapping,
See, for value mapping also we use only the XSD schema, right?
in the message mapping functions, we'll use value mapping. I think Chandru covered the value mapping, right?
Okay.
So currently, I don't have any flows. So
Okay.
we'll create tomorrow or day after tomorrow class.
Okay. Okay.
We'll do one
Uh,
video because we
okay.
need to create value mapping separately, and we need
Okay.
to call the value mapping details in the flows.
Okay. And you said like message mapping is a main important thing, right? Like it has
Yes.
the um majority, like major things covered in the message mapping.
Yes.
So we just started the topic and after that we didn't have any class. So is it possible to start again from the message mapping? Like if we have class
Yes.
tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. Tomorrow
Okay.
we'll continue the message mapping.
Okay. 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 And one more thing, Hari, maybe like I know, maybe we will cover this in future or not sure. Question regarding data. See, like yesterday you have shown some iFlows on which you are working, right? So if we see the data, it's like very small, like it's not a huge amount of data or whatever it is. So how will it be in real time? Like, see, usually in any process, like whatever we take. So whenever we develop anything, maybe it could be iFlow or whatever it is, we use some test data, right? Like which would
Yes.
be like yeah, small test data, and once we develop it, it gets deployed, or like maybe it goes through testing and then it gets deployed where we need to deal with large amount of data, right? So
Mm.
whatever like you were showing yesterday, like how does it work like here, like the deployment or the process in high level?
Yeah, everything was similar as we are doing with the sample data, right? So
Hmm.
whatever we are doing with sample data, everything is similar. But in the real time cases, the time variation may take place based on the data. So if
Okay.
mostly we'll work on approximately 1000 to 2000 data approximately based on the system. If you work on SAP, you may get more than 5000 plus data, but CPA
Okay.
can handle only uh, I think 10 GB or 10K data at one call. So
Hmm.
on that time, what you need to do is you need to batch group the data and send to the target. So for example,
Okay.
if you get 20,000 data at a time, the CPA
Hmm.
can handle only 10,000 data at a time. I mean, the memory consumption of CPA at runtime is only 10,000 data. So if it reaches more than 10K data, the
Okay.
CPA will get trouble. It
Hmm.
cannot load that much data. So on the time, what you need to do is you need to ask the sender system to group the data. Like for one call, you need to ask the sender system to send the 10K data because CPA can
Okay.
handle only 10K data at a time. So or
Okay.
else if they do not have any functionality like grouping the data, you need to do it in the CPA level itself. So we have
Mm.
seen the data store operation, right?
Yes.
So in the
Mm.
data store operation, what you need to do is you need to store the 10K data first.
Mhm.
After processing the first 10K data, you need to send the second 10K data. Like you need to group the data in the CPA level. So for in we have the functionality in the adapter itself. If you see any adapter, you can see the batch or
Mm.
group. So you can group the data in the adapter level itself, or if you want to group it separately, you can do it outside the um, adapter, like palette option. Using palette options, you can separate it and store it in the data store operation, and you can process separately.
Okay, okay. So when you mean like 10K data, what 10K means like 10,000 records or?
Yes, 10,000 record.
Okay. Okay, okay. Okay. Mm.
So actually the sample data what we are using is that's the real time data only, but the size of the data is less.
Okay, okay. Okay.
We need to apply logic, right? For that logic only we are taking the sample data.
Okay.
I think you worked on something on yesterday, right? Do you have any doubt on that? You mentioned yesterday, right? You are working something, message mapping, I guess.
No, no, Hari, I didn't get to message mapping yet. I was just going through the palette options.
Okay.
Mm.
If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask
Mm.
the questions or doubt. Anyone? Sujit, Akash.
Stuff on this one data is I don't get too confused.
Your voice is breaking, Akash.
Though, Hari, am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay, could you please explain about the occurrence of 1 is to 1, 0 is to 1?
Yeah, yesterday I have.
Very confused. It may get disconnected at the time.
um, yeah, so see, this is the data that we have. So what we are doing is we need to uh, let me get some test case from here. So see, this is my source structure, this is my target structure. So using message mapping, I'm converting this structure into this structure. So here you can see I have multiple employee records in the source. That means I need to repeat this employee record node multiple time in the target system. So on that cases, I need to maintain the employee record unbounded. Unbounded means if it repeats multiple times, then we need to maintain that node as unbounded. Unbounded is nothing but it it should contain minimum one data and maximum n number of data. That means you need to use the unbounded. You can maintain unbounded as star. In if you see message mapping, you can find the unbounded value as star. So here my employee record is repeating multiple time according to my source. So in these cases I need to maintain the occurrences of one to unbounded. Why one means it contain minimum of one record. If for in some cases the client will say the employee record may come or may not come. So on that case it will get failed. So what you need to do is, on that case, you need to maintain zero to unbounded. Zero to unbounded is means the message mapping receives single employee record, or it may not receive the employee record, or it may receive multiple employee records. So on those cases, you need to maintain zero to unbounded. If some fields are optional, for example, if the salary is optional field, suppose in our cases salary is optional, on that case what you need to do is, you need to maintain the salary as 0 to 1. 0 to 1 is nothing but it may have data, or it may not have any data. So on that case, you need to maintain 0 to 1. If you not maintained these occurrences, what it will happen is, during runtime you may get error message in the message mapping and the flow get fails. So you should maintain the occurrences, otherwise the flow get fails. So they will, the sender team or client will give you the mapping sheet with the occurrences. Suppose if they forgot to give the occurrences, you need to ask them whether it is a mandatory field or optional field. If it is a optional field, sorry, if it is a mandatory field, how many values I'll get for the particular field. If they said we will get only one value at a time, you need to maintain the occurrence of one. Otherwise, you need to maintain the occurrence of unbounded. So we have one more occurrences is one to one. This is the default occurrences. If you did not maintain any occurrences in the XSD, the default occurrences you can see is one to one. One to one is nothing but it should contain the value, but it should contain only single value. On that cases, you will get one to one occurrences. For example, employee ID. Each employee must have the employee ID. That employee ID should be unique. You will not get multiple employee ID for one employee. So that is one to one. One to one is nothing but you should get the value, but the value is one. So on that cases, you should maintain one to one occurrences. So in case of salary, you need to maintain 0 to 1 occurrences. 0 to 1 occurrence means you may get salary for the particular month, or you may not get salary on the particular month. So on that cases, you need to maintain 0 to 1. 1 to unbounded is, you must get the um, value, but it may get multiple value. For example, we have the employee month. We have we have multiple. We'll take salary. Suppose if you get some allowances, that will also comes under the salary, right? So on that case, you may get multiple salary. You may get multiple salary. So this is my actual salary, this is my allowances. So on that cases, I am getting the multiple salary field. So on that case, you need to maintain the one to unbounded. Unbounded means you may get multiple values for the particular field. So 0 to 1 is nothing but you may get, well, you may not get the value, or you may get multiple value. On that cases, you need to maintain 0 to 1. This is the four types of occurrences we'll use majorly in all flow.
Yeah,
Clear?
yeah.
Any other doubt?
Hi, hello.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, till now we covered only basic authentication, right? But
Yes.
but there are multiple authentication methods like OAuth 2.0, like I think JWT tokens or something. like
Yes. You can
we'll cover
for
in the upcoming classes.
yes, for JWT, those kind of token generation you can try. If you cannot able to do it, we'll do that. We'll cover OAuth 2.0. Most client will use OAuth 2.0 authentication. That is a secured authentication. In real time, you will not work on basic authentication. You should work on the OAuth 2.0. That is the secured authentication method.
And I also confused a little bit on barrier token. It is like I know it is expired within 24 hours, but what kind of like method we will use, like basic authentication or OAuth 2.0?
OAuth 2.0.
Okay. And also we have multiple like categories like APIs, like types, like public and internal APIs.
Hmm.
Like in internal APIs, like we have to connect to the on-premises, right? Do we use that in real time?
No, internal API is nothing but we'll create by our own. That
Okay,
is the internal API.
1 minute.
On-premise is different. On-premise is nothing but that is,
Yeah,
right, difference between on-premise and cloud.
like partner APIs means like private. We using authentication only we can access that, right?
Yes.
But internal access we have
Every
to connect on-premises access points. Like previously at the
internal
initial.
API means, I mean, what you are referring.
Sorry, I did not.
So you are mentioning internal API, right? Where you get that word particularly.
Like
Internal API.
like in like at the like at starting at the starting stage of the course, like I said that like types of APIs. In
Mm-hmm.
that he mentioned public, partner, internal, and composite. Composite is combination of multiple APIs.
Yes.
But internal, we like he mentioned like an example ECC like 6.0 or something like,
Mm.
which are like on-premises API, on-premises calls like that.
Yes, the internal API means it's built by SAP. We are the SAP consultant, right? So the internal API is nothing but our we created API.
Okay.
The SAP create the to connect to the SAP will create the API by one. For example, the proxy and all internal APIs.
Oh.
The backend team will create the OData service or proxies to connect with the SAP.
And also like previously you mentioned like it's the palette option like data store, right? Like Like if it is more number of data, we will use that palette option to store like first 10K records and we will retrieve that and again we will save.
Yes,
Means means
means
real time we will save the data or just
yes. In real time, we'll save the data and or I mean, use if you use that particular data store operation palette option, you can able to store the data. You can able to retrieve the data in real time. So it will automatically store the data. If you maintain the data store operations, I think we have four operations,
like
right?
select, yeah,
Select.
select, uh,
Yes. Select
select,
means
delete,
if,
get.
if
Okay.
you store multiple data, you need to use the select.
Yeah. To retrieve we use get. Okay, right?
For retrieving, yeah, you need to use the get operation. So if in real time, in some scenarios, what you need to do is you will get some values in the header. So you need to store that particular header over a long period of time. For example, in a first call, they will send the header data, but in the upcoming calls, they won't send the header details. But you need to, whenever you send the data to the target system, you need to maintain the header details in every every calls while you are posting to the target. So on the time, what you need to do is during your first call, you need to store the header details in your data store, and in the upcoming calls, you need to add the particular header in the payload, and you need to send that payload to the target. So on that cases, you'll use the data store operation.
And for storing also, we have two options like storing in integration to a local and global, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
with scenarios and
Yes,
what
global
scenarios we will.
global is nothing but if you are storing, I mean, if you are using data store operation in one iFlow, and if you want to call that particular data store operation values in the another iFlow, that means the queue, whatever you are stored in the data store operation, right? That
Yes.
particular variable or payload, whatever you maintained, you want to call that particular payload in another iFlow, you need to maintain the visibility as global. That means it can access anyone from any artifact or any iflow, but the tenant should be the particular tenant. But the iflows and packages made, the payload can call any of the package or any of the iflow. On that cases, you need to maintain the visibility as a global. If you maintain visibility as a local, you must call the particular queue in particular iflow only. You cannot call the particular payload in any other iflow or packages.
Okay. And also, like this is also from like the initial stage of the at the starting stage of the course, like he mentioned like a batch call, like used
Yes.
to retrieve like thousands record at a time like that.
Hmm.
Like in what cases we will use that batch call? Is it same as grouping like we previously used? So
Yes,
is
yes, batch, yeah, the batch call is like the same what I mentioned earlier, right? That is
like
that is
grouping
they will in
like
technically will say that the batch call means grouping.
okay,
Batch we'll say, right?
yeah,
Batch. So yeah. So we'll
yeah,
we'll see some scenario in the real time, but we don't have any target system to post, or we don't have any sender system to get. We have the open sources like Northwind calculators, those open
yeah.
sources, but we don't have the target system to post. That's why we are not covering these. I mean, these in the real time. We can explain, but whenever you are working in the real time project, then only you will get the grip on those things.
And
So
also we miss like we did not cover few ballot options like EDI splitter.
yes, we'll see later. The EDA is different from the currently we are working, right? That is different from EDA. EDA is nothing but that is a different. So the data structure is different from the XML or JSON, those data. So we'll see later. We'll see late separately EDA. So don't confuse these with the EDA. EDA is different.
Okay. And like uh, in the integration suite or BTP portal I use in integration suite only I have seen like the word like Kaima like it is Kubernetes like we do you like we will we use in real time like Kaima.
Yes, that is the environment.
Okay. Like which like dev test like that.
No, actually, that is a version of the BTP. Previously, we have CF
Okay.
Foundry. Now we'll move all this to Neo.
And also like in arithmetic option, like we will use add subtraction sign up. Like will we use multiply or division also?
I think we cover only subtraction and
Ah,
addition.
like we also covered addition, subtraction, multiplication.
Hmm.
Like will will we use multiplication also in real time?
Yes, in real time, that is based on scenario, right? How we know.
Okay, yeah, that's the
So
last.
I have taught you like for your understanding purpose. I have taken addition subtraction. You make
Okay,
different complex mapping structure.
okay, understood. Thanks, sir. And Hari, I also have one more doubt. Like when I given prompt to ChatGPT, it it showed like we will not use trace in production environment or some other environment due to it's having a high cost or like that it showed. Do
Yes.
we use trace in real time?
No, because the trace will be enabled only 10 minutes, right?
Yeah,
You can see in the monitoring tab, if you enable the trace, you can see the below. It show the warning like the trace will enabled up to 10
yeah.
minutes. So you will deploy the flow. We don't know when they will send the data to the CPA, right? So the
Yeah.
trace won't be enabled. So on that case, if you want to see the payloads, you need to log the payload using the Groovy script. Before
Oh,
and after, wherever you want to see the data, you need to use the Groovy script to log the payload. So once you log the you keep the Groovy in the particular step wherever you want to see the data. So once you kept that Groovy, you can see whenever the flow is running, you can see the payload in the monitoring screen. The monitoring screen, you will see the uh, text text or yeah, text file, I guess. Yeah, we'll get the text file in the monitoring screen. You can open the text file and you can see the data over there.
okay.
We'll cover this, no problem. So
And
in
also
time
like
we are.
at the starting, like I think Chandru mentioned like it's a good practice. We will integrate with the email
Yes.
so that whenever an error happen or data sent successfully, we will get an email.
Yes. So yeah, they the once the flow is ready, I mean in even once the flow is in real time, so the client won't open the CPA every time whenever they are pushing the data to target system. They
Yeah,
won't open the cloud integration. They have the sender system and they have the target system. So they will send the sender system and they will post the data from the sender system, and they are looking for the data for in the target system. They won't open the cloud integration. So on the time, if we don't know whether the CPI send the data to target or not. So on that cases, the good practice is to maintain the email adapter, because if the CPA get fails, it will trigger the exception sub process. In the exception sub process, we'll maintain the mail adapter, right? So
yeah.
using that mail adapter, it will send the error mail to the particular team or the IT teams.
Like do we cover in the upcoming classes like how
Yes, yes,
to use?
definitely the mail is important.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
Yes, yeah, I told you, right? Currently, we are working on the palette options. So
Yeah.
once we cover all the palette options, then we'll go with the end-to-end scenarios.
Okay.
So on that time, you will get the clear idea or clarity on the real-time scenarios. So
Okay.
now you guys focus on the palette options.
Yeah.
At
Sure.
last 5 to 6 classes, we'll cover end-to-end scenarios.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
And one more, like encryption, decryption, we will use on like every and in every iFlow, or sort of particular like banking service which is
Only when are working with the banking systems, then only we'll use the encryption decryption. Or
okay.
if the client want to encrypt the data before sending to target, then we'll use the encryption decryption.
Okay.
Based on client requirement will work.
And also like we have used an escalation and like parrot option.
Yes.
Like why we use that, like to get the error, like
Yeah, escalated end is nothing but the if the for example you are creating one flow that is the main flow for salary credited to the particular employees, for example. So
okay,
if you are if if they are sending the data from sender, for example, if they want to credit the salary for the month of Jan, the 20 employees salary got credited. For each employee salary, the flow should trigger. I
okay.
mean, for example, if I said those things, you will get confused. You can get it simple like this. Mm, for example, you are posting 20 datas, but the 21st data it got fails. That
Okay.
means the salary won't credit for the 21st employee. So on that cases, you need to escalate that issue. So on that cases, we'll use the escalated end. Escalated is nothing but you should you should monitor the particular flow. I mean, as soon as possible. Otherwise, it may affect our real time. For example, in some flows, it in some flow it got fail means the production will affect, like, uh, for example, if you are working on supermarket in the so if I say these real time scenarios, you will get confused.
Yeah,
Escalated end event is nothing but you want to see the flow as soon as possible and you need to resolve that flow. That's it.
like in upcoming classes will you
Yes,
show?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
the main use of escalated end event is it will show the warning the flow got fail. You need
Okay,
to see the flow as soon as possible and you need to resolve the flow as much as you can. You need to you need to resolve the flow at the earliest.
and also in real time, like those who are designing will only see monitor or monitoring, for there is a separate team to monitor.
Yes, once you developed all these things and you moved all the data to production, before closure you need to give the knowledge transfer to the respective team.
Okay,
The client have separate technical team, so you need to give the knowledge transfer KT sessions.
okay,
So how you are creating the flows, what are all the things happening in the flows, and you need to prepare some technical documentations. In that document, you should mention all the steps and what are all the credentials, what are all the datas, everything you should mention in the document.
okay,
And you need to send the document to the client and you need to give the knowledge transfer session to the client technical team. So after that, they will take care of the flows.
okay,
So they don't know, right, how you are creating, what you are doing in the integration flow. So we
okay,
need to provide the knowledge transfer after completing the production activities. It
okay,
is mandatory, like how we are doing the project, right? This is the standard format.
okay.
So anyone have any doubt? So anyone tried the message mapping as we discussed the last class, right? I think before Sankranti.
Yeah, I have done.
Anyone have doubt on that message map?
Uh, Hari, as I mentioned, I attended the class, but I'm not able to proceed. That's why I asked you, right? Like, if it's possible, if we can repeat the message mapping in the next class.
Okay. Actually,
See, maybe I'll try again today because
okay. I'll revise the mapping once tomorrow class. I think we did not complete fully. I guess.
Yeah, till
yes, yes,
off
yeah.
only will come.
Any other doubt you don't have?
Like Hari wants to show the like sample data like we have used in message mapping.
Hmm.
Mm.
Like target structure. Here, like header till header, I have completed. Like it is fixed, right?
Hmm.
Employee name, date of birth. I
Hmm.
completed, but I was not able to do items. Like it is different for different IDs, right? Like employee month salary.
Hmm.
Yeah, till header only we have completed at last class.
Yes.
Items we have not created.
Do you have any doubt on creation of header?
No, I created. I got the result, but when I am trying to create items,
Hmm.
I am getting error. But now my integration also should also expire. I have to create again.
Okay. Try it. You can see we have created items multiple times based
Yeah.
based on employee ID. Based on employee ID, we are grouping the items. So
Yeah.
this is the logic you should implement.
Okay. So
We'll see tomorrow.
okay. So I have to connect employee to the items.
Hmm.
Okay. I will try once today.
Okay.
What time do we have Hari class tomorrow? Like morning or 9 o'clock? Oh,
So I also don't have idea.
okay, so maybe it's fine.
Okay, team. If no one have any doubt, then we can close the session.
Hari, please continue with the same timing schedule so that we can available at the same time.
9 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, team. Thank you.
Thank you, Hari.